Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. Today we're talking with Danielle McColloch, and she has a pretty cool story. So grew up in California, has lived a couple of different areas in her life. She is now in the Treasure Valley area. She runs multiple businesses, wife, mother, you got multiple kids, and you've got dogs, and you still have time for hobbies. So how do you balance it all?
I think that's my favorite question. I think women love being asked that too, because I think the funny part is my husband doesn't get asked, like, how do you balance it all? But we do get asked it, right? Because we have this kind of like, we're everywhere. So I've had times in my life where I did not balance it all. I worked 50 hours a week and struggled with being present at work and being present at home. And just, there's been ups and downs, you know? Kids were younger, it was more difficult. So I think the biggest thing for me to balance it is the biggest thing is saying no. And I would say probably in the last few years, I have learned that saying no to things that don't serve me, light me up, give me something, whether it's giving to others, saying no has been big. So that is my number one tip for balancing it all. Because when you say no to things like that, then you have time to do the things that light you up, to do the things you absolutely need to do, right? Not everything lights you up, but some of you got to do. And then for the important people in your life. So that's been a big one, I would say.
Gotcha. So how did you go to the point that you own and run multiple businesses?
It was kind of crazy. So my husband and I worked retail. We met working at Whole Foods.
Okay.
He had two young kids when we met. This was almost 20 years ago now. And then we had two kids shortly after, so we have four boys. And we were just kind of drained on the retail thing. Like it was awesome to a certain extent because we could pass off kids the time clock, like for babysitting. But after a while of like not having weekends, not having holidays, we just kind of wanted something more. And a window cleaning business, like literally like fell into our lap. Like one of his customers at his store pretty much offered to sell half the business that they had just bought. I thought it was a scam because like we were talking about, I think everything's a scam. And then really looked into it and we just kind of took a leap of faith. Like we were just ready for something. So he quit his job. He trained with the owner of the previous business and just jumped in. And then I kind of like I stopped my 70-hour-a-week retail job and I started doing other things part-time as we grew the business. But I was just really good at like a natural networker, natural marketing, natural like giving other people referrals. It just came naturally to me. And before I knew it, people were giving that to us. So that was our first business in Oregon. We doubled the database in 2 years without paying for any advertising or anything, just through connecting and networking. And then we moved to Idaho to be closer to some family. And we were like, if we could do that, we could start our own business. And so we did. And that business doubled the first year and tripled the second year. And we're still maintaining our business in Oregon.
So how do you maintain a business that far away?
Well, first, we have a full-time employee there, my brother-in-law, which is good. He's great. And so he's been there full-time. We also have a 23-year-old son and a 21-year-old son that have worked in and out of the business, kind of doing their own things. But honestly, it was Matt. He traveled originally. So we moved here in November of 2021. And for the first year, he spent 10 to 15 days a month in Oregon. Oh, wow. And I would be here just trying to grow the business. So he was there. And then, as we grew here, he was able to do less there. His brother stepped in to do more. And so we've kind of just like maintained over there. We haven't really decided what to do, but then we've grown substantially here.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, that's a true example of somebody who wants it bad enough, you're willing to pay the price, right? And that's something I see a lot of people seem like they'll be like, oh, this is great, I'm going to do this. And pretty soon they're like, oh, I'm burned out, I'm moving on, right? And there was no, I'm burned out, I'm moving on. It was, you burned the ships instead, it sounds like, and that's how life was going to be.
Yep, I say that to my husband, like I would say, like, I don't know how you do this, and he would say, I just don't have a choice, like that's his thing. It's like, it's not like I get to say, I don't want to get up today, I don't want to drive to Oregon. He's just very motivated and driven, and he just kept doing it, so yeah. So
that's the main business. What about the other business you own and run?
So as I was networking, going to B&I, doing things like that, I was telling you before this that somebody asked me, or you get asked, like, what's your hobby? What are your hobbies? And I was like, oh my gosh, I have 4 children and businesses. And and I didn't remember the last thing I did something like for fun for me or like picked up a book. So to answer your question, I'm a big reader. I've always been a writer. I wanted to write for Cosmopolitan magazine when I was young. Like that was my dream, to be a writer. And I honestly hadn't written in a long time. So one of the things.
What kind of reading?
Oh, I like to read like
fiction,
I like to read like thrillers, like just, things with like twisted endings and surprises and stuff like that. So nothing crazy, but yeah, things like that. And then nutrition.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Fiction is a big one.
And then also business growth, self-development. I like to listen to the business growth and self-development, and then I like to like read a good old paper book for the books. So I started going into that, and as I went down that journey, I really started asking myself what I wanted to do. Like, I love the part of my window cleaning business where I, you know, take good care of customers and make their day better, and like all of that comes naturally to me. But nutrition has been my passion for probably like 20 years, and I've gone this whole holistic nutrition journey and weight loss. I worked in weight loss 20 years ago, so I've been in and out of the industry for probably 20 years, multiple certifications, but it's always just taken a back burner. And so about that time that I was like, what am I doing for myself? I decided I wanted to really jump in and do something in the nutrition world. As I started fine-tuning it, GLP-1s got more and more popular. People are talking about them more, and it just kind of aligned that I started doing coaching for women and some men, but mostly women specifically who are on a GLP-1. So that's been my side business since the beginning of this year. And I've had a lot of clients, I've had a lot of growth, and it's just one of those things that, like, I don't know if you read The Big Leap with the book The Big Leap, but he talks about your zone of genius, or like when you're working and it doesn't feel like work. And that's it. Like anytime I'm doing anything for that, reading, creating, I just don't feel like I'm working. Like, it really lights me up. So I'm very excited about it.
Oh, that's really fun.
Yeah.
It's awesome that you're able to find that thing that lights you up, and not just the things you have to do in life, right?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So how do you balance, going back to that again, how do you balance having the two businesses and being actively engaged in your kid's life? Because saying no is one technique, but I'm sure it's not the only thing you're using. There's got to be more to keep that all in sync.
For sure. No was a big one, and learning to like let go of the people pleasing a little bit. Like when I first moved here, I would drive all over the Treasure Valley. I said yes to everything, and I was just drained. And in order to be able to like next level everything I was doing, I had to get rid of that. So that was big. The other one is just organization, and I'm just the paper calendar era. My brother, he was like, get digital. I'm like, it's digital. I have 2 phones. I have a computer. I have a CRM. Like, I have it all on the computer. But every Sunday, I call it Set It Up Sunday, I sit down and I take everything from my phone or my other phone, and I have a paper calendar, and I absolutely love it. It's Monday through Sunday, and it's all lined out. You know, it has to be this way. It can't be those little, but it's all lined out so I can visualize my whole week, and I just block times, so I have 2 days that I do coaching days. I make sure that I have my window cleaning, admin time available. I've always got my phones on me too. I try to really have times on the weekends where it's off, but I also do allow myself to do some of those things on the weekends so I don't have a pile, so big on Monday that it's overwhelming. Because as a new business owner almost 10 years ago, I was like, phones off at 9, nothing on the weekends. Like, I really wanted to have those boundaries, which can be good, but they can also just kind of set you up for disappointment on Monday. So I have to like really use my best. Like, is this going to help me to answer this email right now, or can it be put off? So I think just really doing that, being organized, and having specific times for everything. And I'm lucky because I get to take my kids to school, I get to pick them up from school, I get to drive them all over to do all their things. And I didn't get to do that when they were young because I was working in retail. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But earlier you said that you really enjoy that part of helping people and them getting satisfaction and you delivering a great experience. So I could see you really thriving in retail though, because that's all you do all day is people come in, you help them solve the problem, on to the next one, put the cape on, here to save the day, right?
Oh, I did great. I mean, I was basically a nutrition coach. I had customers like wait in line to talk to me. I worked in the nutrition department in Whole Foods and Whole Body. And I did. I loved that. I loved being like, try this, try that, try this. So I get to do that now, but not deal with the retail hours. So it's better.
Nice. So you grew up in California. So you play in the ocean?
Yes.
What do you like?
We were in Encinitas. I was born in La Jolla. I definitely, when I was young, body surfing, boogie boarding, all that. I never tried to surf, stand up and surf. I just don't know that I was coordinated enough. I was also a swimmer, competitive swimmer, until I was like 17. So lots of water when we were young. And then we did move away from the ocean when I was a teenager, which I was really sad about. So
I bet, if you're playing in it that much and then have it shut off for you, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
So swimming.
Yes.
Tell me about that a little bit.
I started swimming, gosh, I want to say 7, like just doing swim lessons, and I really enjoyed it, and then just got on the swim team, and then no matter where we moved, I always at the swim team, and it was just a huge part of my life. And then when we moved back to California from Arizona, they didn't have a swim team at the high school I went to, but they had a water polo team, and girls water polo is intense.
Is it?
Vicious. But I could tell some stories. I won't. It's a whole other podcast. But I
Maybe
tried
you should
it.
tell some stories.
I tried it, and I did the goalie thing for a little while. But yeah, there's some vicious girls. And I'm not like a contact sport person. Like swimming was great because I was like me against me, maybe against other people, but there was no like, battling. So I didn't last long in that. And then I just didn't really go back to it again. But yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of the ocean, and I only discovered it a few years ago. So I absolutely love bodyboarding. And so tell me, what was your best bodyboarding experience?
I mean, I was a kid, so
That doesn't matter.
I would just throw myself in the ocean and go for it. And when we caught a wave, it was the most amazing thing. I can tell you my worst bodyboarding because I went in too big of a wave and, tumbled around and couldn't find my way up. It was paranoid, like what is happening, slammed against the sand and everything, and that kind of spooked me for a little while. Because you kind of go, when you grow up around the ocean, you kind of like a little bit fearless, right?
Yeah.
Like confident, and then something like that happens and you're like, oh my gosh, this is this is really scary.
This is powerful, yeah.
So it kind of like set me back a little bit. But yeah, definitely like enjoyed the boogie board thing more and all that. But when you grow up by the ocean, you just kind of take it for granted. And then we moved and I was like, oh my gosh, it's just not there anymore. So my heart is still in San Diego, even though I haven't been there for a long time. Like I haven't lived there for a long time. But yeah.
So do you visit the ocean very much, huh?
Well, my sister moved to Oahu, 13 years ago, just having kind of like a, mid-20s crisis, and was like, I'm going to go live in Oahu, and it happened. And then she met someone and had a baby, so she's never leaving, and my parents decided to retire out there. So I have family on Oahu. I just recently went for the first time in a long time, but it's absolutely gorgeous there. I don't love flying, so it's not my favorite, but I do have a place to stay. So Oahu's great, and my sister is, married to a local, so we go to like the local beaches and do the fishing and all the kind of like not resort stuff. Because like real Hawaii and like resort Hawaii are two totally different things. So it's kind of fun to experience the real thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you had a week to do anything you'd want, what would it be?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I would definitely include laying by a pool or the beach. I would just want to go on vacation, like a real vacation with the people that I love.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like to shop too. Like I would probably like to buy some stuff, eat good food. I really like good food. I just think like a good vacation. A good vacation that's balanced with like enough relaxation, because sometimes vacations can be overwhelming when you're like, I'm in this place only for a week, so I need to do all the things.
Right. You're like, wake up, it's 6 o'clock, we gotta be somewhere.
And then you're exhausted. So I think that perfect vacation, like we went to Aruba on our honeymoon, and like I would love to spend a week in Aruba again. Like we did the lazy river, grouper tacos. I don't know if you've ever been to Aruba, but they have grouper tacos, gorgeous ocean, but there wasn't so much to do that you felt like you were missing out if you just didn't do anything. So I think a relaxing vacation.
There we go.
Maybe with a massage. Nice. Nothing crazy. Yep.
So tell me about your writing.
So writing. So I was always writing. I mean, I used to wake up at like 8 years old and write. Like I would just have these like ideas come to my head and like poems and silly things, and then wrote through probably high school, did creative writing, and then into college. And I really, really wanted to be a journalist. I wanted to write for like Cosmopolitan magazine. I wanted to do nutrition writing. And then I just kind of stopped. Like I didn't, after school, and then I had kids and stuff, and I just stopped writing like completely. And when I was asked about my hobbies in BNI, when I was like doing a talk, I was like, I need to write again. Like I really need to write. And so I challenged myself. It was the end of last year that I was like, next year I'm going to write. Like I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it out there. I think I submitted something in like 2000, early 2000 to like we had just gotten the internet or whatever at our house.
Yeah.
And I submitted my first whatever, and it got declined. And I was like, I'm the worst writer. Everybody hates me. I'm never writing, you just get defeated, right? Yeah. And so I challenged myself to start writing. And then I saw Boise Mom was accepting like contributors. So I did a practice thing and sent that in, and then they accepted me, and it's been a lot of fun. I've written, kind of like wellness themed articles and in my coaching, I talk a lot about like stress and it's, the relationship between stress and diet and digestion and all that.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I think I've gotten 7 or 8 articles on there, and it just kind of prompted me to do more writing. And then I write, I do digital guides and downloads for resources for weight loss, weight maintenance, all that.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of like once I started doing it, it just kind of,
right.
Yeah.
I
really
think it's so cool. This thing that was your childhood is now a piece and portion of how you make your living.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's really fun, and I really enjoy it.
So what advice would you give to someone who's either thinking of starting a business or maybe in the struggling phase where things just are not going well, or, everyone makes it through that phase, or they give up, one of the two.
Or they give up, yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think expectations are huge, and I think, as with anything, social media can be an amazing tool, or it can be something that totally screws you up. And, like for window cleaning, for example, there's these guys on social media, they're like, you can make all this money, all you need is a bucket and a ladder and knock on everybody's door and like you're a millionaire, And so all these kids are like, I want to be a millionaire. And they skip everything in between and like all of these important pieces. So I think having a realistic idea of what a business is going to look like, and that it's not going to be that easy to get to that point, like they show on social media. It's just like the health and fitness influencers, right? Like you see the highlight reel, you see the pretty stuff, but you don't see the dark part of it. So I think a realistic expectation of what you're going to do and what you're going to build, and then really like looking at who you are as a person and what you want to create, whether it's window cleaning, whether it's websites, whether it's roofing, like whatever it is, like you're not that person. Who are you, and what do you want to create? Matt and I sat down when we started our window cleaning business, and we knew we wanted to create kind of an old school business, like one where people knew our names, where they knew what to expect, where they knew the quality, where they would trust us in their house. And we've created that. Like we have people leave their gate, their door key or their door code or whatever, and they trust us, and that's what we want. So we haven't done the 0 to hero growth thing where we're like, we're the fastest growing window cleaning business. But we have created something that we're really, really proud of that we can leave to our children. So I guess to answer your question is like, more than knowing how much money you want to make or what you want to do is like, what impact do you want to leave? Like what do you want to be known for? Yeah, we clean good windows, but like everybody that refers is like, you're really going to like Matt and Danielle. They do really good work. There's more there than what we're doing. So, and if you don't have a desire to do something in like a quality way and you're just trying to like get money fast, I don't think starting a business is the way to do it. I mean, unless you're going to grow something real fast and get out of it. But for the most part, I think that quick attitude cheats you out of like creating something like real and impactful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's really a powerful message, to have that passion in the heart. Because if you don't, when it does get hard, you're out.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize I'd actually have to work.
Right? Or, I mean, it's just, there's so much more. There's people who charge top dollar and they say people will pay it. I'm going to charge this much more. Well, people will pay it, but are they going to call you again? Are they going to keep calling you? Like, you're not just selling one job. You're trying to create a long-term relationship. And I think that there's not a ton of that with a lot of businesses. So, and I think the other thing is to know your competition and not treat them as competition, because I think that knowing other businesses that do what you do, and kind of like, we want to elevate the industry. We want other people, like when people are like, oh, that window cleaner is bad, like that doesn't make me happy. I'm like, well, that's a bummer, because I want window cleaners to look good, right? I think knowing your other people in your industry and kind of working together, collaborating, passing business back and forth is huge too.
So how do you get that mindset where you look at your competition and you're like, oh, wait, we can collaborate? Because that's not a natural first reaction for people.
No, and I remember, so when the first time I even had to like face it was when we were in Oregon. I had gotten a lot of people tagging us on Facebook all the time. It was all these groups, and like I was the window cleaner. Like there was no other window cleaner. And all of a sudden this girl comes along and she's like talking about her window cleaning business. And I'm like, who's this? Like that, my instant reaction was like, get out of here. And Matt and I talked about it, and he's like, well, we probably should meet them. And I was like, what do you mean we should meet them? So it was actually him that like kind of planted that seed at first. And I was like, you know what, you're right. Like, why wouldn't we want to? And so she and I, we actually still never met in person, but we talked a lot on the phone, and actually they did work we didn't do. And we just started creating this relationship where it made a better experience for the customer, naturally. I couldn't do the job, but she could. And then it's funny, she has family here, so she's in Oregon, but she started referring work to us here when we moved here. And so I just think having more of an abundance mindset, like Matt always says, like, I can't take care of all the glass in the Treasure Valley. No matter how big of a business we became, we can't be the only window cleaner. And so I think it's an anchor if you feel that way, if you feel like everyone's your competition. So I think just like really stepping back and thinking, am I going to get anywhere by like feeling negative energy towards this person? And if you're not, like, know them.
Yeah.
Know who they are, know who their customer is, because maybe you don't want to go somewhere that they want to go.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. And some of our best referrals have been from other window cleaners. And now some of our best friends are window cleaners in the Treasure Valley. So
wow, that's awesome.
It's nice.
Yeah, go from competition to best friend.
Yeah, it feels a lot better than just like wanting to fight everyone, like wanting to fight for that space. So there's plenty of work for everybody, I would have to say.
Yeah. So how do you find out, like you were saying that even if we could physically serve everyone, it wouldn't work, right? So how do you find who that ideal customer is?
Well, I mean, we get most of our customers either from networking or actually probably more at this point from referrals from other customers. Because I feel like those first 3 years are like kind of like the planting the seed type thing, right? Like you create this network. And then once you get enough customers, like I get a text every other day, if not more, of like so-and-so referred me, so-and-so referred me. And so I think when you take really good care of your customer, then they send you more people that they know. Like I think it's just that. And also knowing not everybody's your ideal customer, right? Like I don't want to say like we have like just a really specific avatar for a window cleaning customer, right? But there's going to be people that aren't a good fit. Yeah. And knowing that if that person isn't a good fit, who can I send them to? And that even if they aren't a good fit, I would never want to like disconnect from them in a negative way, I guess. So,
yeah, that makes sense.
But I kind of just have a like faith that that we get the right people, and we do. We have amazing customers, and then we get more amazing customers from them. So, and we've never knocked on a door, and not door knocking. Like door knocking is a huge thing, and I think it's a huge thing for the young kids, and maybe that's because they weren't alive in the 80s when we had like vacuum cleaner guys come to our house and like vacuum our house, and my mom was like, I mean, it's like a PTSD response for me when the doorbell rings, I don't want to answer. And so I knew I was never going to want to do that. But yeah, there's just, I don't know, I'm just going off on a tangent, but yeah.
No, you're all good. Yeah, I think that's so funny that like society went this huge like door-to-door salesman for everything, right? And then it got to the point people are like putting up the big old plaques, no soliciting, go away. Even the doormats, instead of saying welcome, they just say go away on them, right? And then now this younger generation, they didn't experience very many of those, and they're like, oh, this is the greatest idea ever.
Yeah, well, it's knock on doors. It's like, we did that. It's been done. Don't do it. Nobody wants you to knock on their door, ever. When we first started our business, I had a no soliciting sign, and one of my neighbors was like, well, you're a business owner now. You can't have that up. And I was like, yes, I can, because I don't want people to knock on my door. And we've actually asked a lot of customers, like, how do you feel about that? And I've never heard anybody be like, good. Like, I'm stoked that somebody came and knocked on my door. And do they get jobs? Yes. But again, are they creating a long-term trusting relationship? I don't know. And I guess if we got to that point where we had to knock on doors, we would, but luckily we haven't. And so
you got a better way of finding customers.
Yes.
Right.
And it takes a little bit more time. I spent a lot of time, and I tell young business owners that it's like when we first moved here and we were starting from the ground up with nothing, it was a full-time job, and I was grateful I was able to do it. But I mean, you remember seeing me everywhere. Like I was networking 30 hours a week, probably. It was exhausting. But I don't have to do it at that level anymore. I still do it. It's just not at that level. So
yeah, it's a maintenance instead of the growth at that.
For sure.
So what's your favorite thing about business?
I think like business or being a business owner.
You choose.
Well, I would say being a business owner, my favorite thing is, it's funny, it's freedom, even though it's also not freedom, but it's freedom in a way that like I never want to ask for time off again, ever. Like that is a huge thing for me. I worked salary for a long time when I was in retail in like a regional position. And again, not freedom, but there was freedom to it, right? Like I made my own schedule, and I just loved that. And I went back to punching a clock again, and I couldn't stand it. Like I just couldn't stand it. I want to go, if my kid calls and needs to get picked up, I want to drop everything and go, you know? And so if we want to go on vacation, I want to plan my vacation, and I'm the only one accountable to. So my favorite thing is like having a life where somebody isn't my boss.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest thing. And, I want to leave a legacy to my kids in whatever way that looks like, So leaving them something different than, the standard thing, like a business that they can do whatever they want to do with, change generationally. Like, I think that's another cool thing too.
Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. So do you see your kids being involved in the business going forward?
Yeah, I do. I mean, all 4 of them. Our 23-year-old right now is doing like wildland fire things, which is seasonal, and then he's fully trained working with us. So it's great for him because he can do both. And then our 21-year-old has worked with us, but he's doing his own thing right now. My 15-year-old does summers with us, and then my 13-year-old did his first summer this last year.
Oh, cool.
And he's ready to jump in. So yes, I think in some capacity when they're ready, and that's kind of why we kept both locations. There's no pressure. I mean, I'd love to see 1 or 2 of them and their wives get involved in it eventually, but or they can sell it. I don't know. It's just, it's an option.
Yeah.
And it's something that we've worked hard to create.
So, but they've all worked in the business. How do you maintain that parent relationship versus the boss relationship? Because I know a lot of people have really struggled with that.
Yeah.
Right? Different relationship.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think if it was me working on the job site with them, it would be more difficult, honestly. But it's Matt. I think just keep it simple. I mean, have really clear, like, we have a checklist. This is what you need to do. Just like having an employee in any other way is like removing the emotion from it. And it's just, this is what needs to be done. And we have really good kids. Like, we're really lucky. Our boys are great. They work hard. Some work harder than others, like they have different personalities and different styles. And just kind of like with school, like I don't expect our oldest to do the same as this one, right? Like we expect them to excel at their ability. And so I think having reasonable expectations and, not babying them, but also not putting them in a position or doing work that maybe they're not going to succeed at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I
could see them having different roles in the business, but they all start cleaning windows and
they've got to understand what's happening in the business, and then they can pick where their specialty is, right?
Yep.
I like that. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was
Appreciate
a lot of fun. I love listening to yours. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
And to all our listeners out there, be sure to check out both her businesses. So how do people get a hold of you if they want to?
So I have Instagram is my main for my coaching, where I do a lot of the GLP-1 nutrition, and that's just Danielle McColloch.
Okay.
That's just my full name, and I have links on there to reach me. And then MCF Window Cleaning is our other one, and there's underscores after MCF and window, and we're on Instagram, or on Facebook. But,
perfect. Yeah. And do you have websites?
Do you have websites? I have a great website guy.
Oh, cool.
MCFwindowcleaning.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, I do not have a website for my coaching. I have a stand store, and it's kind of a nice way to be like, I do a free 15-minute consult. So like, if you know anyone that's doing a GLP-1, like Ozempic, Wegovy, all of those, there's a lot of hype around them right now.
Yeah.
My job as I do nutrition coaching and behavior change and is to help people eat in a way that's sustainable for weight loss for that. So again, they're great tools. They are misused. And so that's why I kind of dove into that. So I do I say it's a free 15-minute, but it's always 30 minutes. So I should change it just to see if we're a good fit, right? Because just like the other business, not everyone's a good fit. So I do kind of like a one-to-one and see. But yeah, if you know anybody that needs that, that's a great way to connect me as well.
Perfect. Go check out her Instagram one more time.
Danielle McColloch.
Perfect.
Just one word, or MCF Window Cleaning with the underscores in between.
Great. There we go. Go check out their Instagram and connect with them and do some business with them.